find out about potential threats to our security. Enhanced interrogation is not the means to this end. Really quickly, I'd like to define torture as, according to the United Nations. Torture means any act by which severe pain or suffering, whether physical or mental, is intentionally inflicted upon a person for such purposes as obtaining from him or a third person information or confession, punishing for an act he or a third person has committed or suspected of having committed, or intimidating or coercing him or a third person, or for any reason based on discrimination by any kind. So, as you can see, the examples that are given of enhanced interrogation, such as the attention grab, the attention slap, the belly slap, long time standing, all of those would definitely cause severe pain and or suffering. Standing in a 50-degree room with no clothes on overnight is going to be very mentally and physically taxing. So it was stated that these techniques are necessary and that current techniques are not enough for the problem and getting information. There are actually many sources that say that the current techniques are just as, if not more effective than enhanced interrogation techniques. So a senior counselor to the former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, says, "Since the alternatives are effective and don't have all these downsides, including all the moral and legal issues that come with them, it seems like a very clear choice." Now, James is going to get more into the legal issues there, but as I was saying, torture is something that is not allowed within our system and within the Geneva Convention. So, as she said, there are a lot of regulations around this, to try to make this an effective system without people getting hurt. But it's a fact that a lot of times with enhanced interrogation, things go wrong and they turn, from interrogation to murder very quickly. So, sources say that in a case, a young, untrained junior officer caused the death of one detainee at a mud fort of the salt pit that is used as a prison. They say that the death occurred when the prisoner was left to stand naked throughout the harsh Afghanistan night after being doused with cold water. He died, they say, of hypothermia. And there are two more cases that occurred actually that same year. So these techniques are not just interrogation. They can travel beyond that and become murder. There are many disadvantages to these techniques as well, other than just people getting injured. There's a lot of questions as to the validity of the data that is collected using these techniques. There was actually a kind of collaboration of 15 former interrogators. Together they had more than 350 years of field experience if you combine it all together. And they got together and they signed a document that said that non-coercive, traditional, report-based interviewing approaches provide the best possibility for obtaining accurate and complete intelligence. And there is no conflict between adhering to our nation's essential values, including respect for inherent human dignity and our ability to obtain the information we need to protect the nation. Now, they were saying the current techniques work better because often when these techniques are used, these quote-unquote torture techniques, a lot of false information is given. When these people are being interrogated, they'll often say whatever it takes to make it stop. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the truth. So, U.S. officials have regularly practiced these coercion techniques which cause profound emotional, psychological, and physical discomfort, which is once again the definition of torture, and can significantly and negatively impact the ability of the source to recall information accurately. So sometimes even if they want to tell the truth, I mean, if you're being tortured, it's very hard for the truth to be recalled within your mind. So often they'll get bad data only because the source can't remember whatever data they are trying to have recalled. So once again, the use of torture and other inhumane and abusive treatment results in false and misleading information, loss of critical intelligence, and has caused serious damage to the reputation and standing of the United States. The use of such techniques also facilitates enemy recruitment, misdirects or wastes scarce resources, and deprives the United States of standing to demand humane treatment for captured Americans, which I think is a case that James is going to cover more, but if we do it to their troops, then they probably receive less of a problem doing it to ours. So for our own protection, it's very important as well. And finally, actually kind of going back to the fact that a lot of bad data is given, is that the people who are doing the interrogation, part of their job, part of their goal is to tell when the target is giving true or false information. Interrogators cannot always there were memos in 2002 who oversaw the Office of Legal Counsel and gave the CIA the first approval for these techniques. So when they first started testing these techniques out in 2002, the memos noted that the interrogators could not always tell a prisoner who was withholding information for one who had no more information to offer. So actually this goes back to a example of somebody who was actually waterboarded 183 times, and he had no more information to give. So he was actually being tortured to no avail. And he had no information to give, and they got nothing out of it, and they wasted their time and resources, and were hurting another human being in the process.